Joining us now is an election observer, Nelson Ekujumi. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you very much.
Now, like we rightly pointed out, there's been a push for electoral reforms. But when you look at the recommendations that Mahmoud Yakubu is looking at, are they what will bring about the needed reforms that we seek?
Well, I think some of the recommendations is bringing out, as well as the interaction that will also come up with the legislators scheduled for Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Some of the things that will bring up new developments. Don't forget, we have seen some developments that we believed we have passed. The level of electoral brigandage that we have witnessed of late is something that calls for concern, because this was a period in which we thought we had put such acts behind us. Don't forget, prior to 2015-2019 election, we had a situation whereby people that were living off political brigandage as a means of livelihood were run out of business with the introduction of the e-card reader as well as the PVC. But with the recent with the recent elections, we have just witnessed, and the level of violence, that followed it, there's really need to look at the electoral law and see how we can address those problems that have reared its ugly head again. So
but some will say that the electoral law, as it is, there are punishment for offenders. But how effective have this punishment been?
Yes, that is why there's a need for a review, because when you look at the punishment for offenders, you also ask, how will the electoral violators be apprehended? Does the security agencies have the wherewithal, to prosecute? Because severally we have seen situations whereby we hear reports that somebody was caught with ballot papers, somebody was caught, trying to, disrupt voting. At the end of the day, that is where the story ends. We never get to hear about prosecution and what have you. So the issue about the Electoral Offences Commission is also something on the table that we really need to address.
All right. Even besides that is the issue of falsification of credentials, which is originally in itself a criminal offense. But let's come to the issue of the timing for this in the first place. The president, one of the reasons the president rejected or vetoed the bill the other time, he said it was too close to the election in 2015. Yeah. So how would you comment the timing now? Because right now we're looking at 3 years ahead of the 2023 elections.
No, the preparation for the next election begins immediately after the last election. So it is not out of place if we start the plan. Even as civil society, stakeholders, we ourselves, we are holding meetings, we are holding deliberations that we want to call for review, because you can't be a monopoly of wisdom. We want to look at these problems we're having in our electoral process. How do we address it? Because if you cannot get your electoral system right, you cannot get your economy right. So it is very, very important that the sad development, the sad scenarios that we have witnessed that has continued to rear its ugly head are, things that should worry each and every Nigerian. That, look, we must get it. Our election must not be war. A lot of times you see election going to take place and you hear 50,000 security agencies have been deployed. You ask, are they going to execute war, or are they going to provide security for election? Election should be a festival of voters, just like you go to Ofala Festival, you go to this festival in Ijebu. It should not be
like the Argungu Festival.
Argungu Festival.
You take Festival. Just go have fun. All right, now one other thing before we let you go is the issue of vote buying, for instance. They've talked about the issue of, you were talking about prior to 2015 and all of that. Now that some persons have been run out of business, we saw the emergence of vote buying.
Yeah.
How much of that can be tackled here? Because a lot of the vote buying happens even before the election day.
Yes, the issue about vote buying has always existed with man from our existence. So what we need to do is to continue the advocacy. You recognize that prior to the 2019 elections, the incidence of vote buying was very, very rife. You saw the advocacy that went into it. Even the media must be highly commended for the role you played, in addressing that. And because vote buying, is going out of fashion, they have now devised
Can it go out of fashion?
No, it's going out of fashion because it's not as pronounced like we saw in some elections. Okay. You saw the last two elections, it was not more about vote buying, but more about the electoral brigandage. So in as much as we realize that, you know, the issue of vote buying is not something you can just wish away. It's something that continuous education and sensitization, we address it, but we cannot eliminate it.
All right. Nelson Ekujimi, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.